you all so much for joining our conversation today. You are all very welcome. You know that this is a very relaxing place where we come, we are inspired, we learn, we share story, we ask questions, and your questions are answered. My name is Marian, and I'm the author of Breaking Through, the Immigrant's Handbook for Thriving in the American Workplace. This book goes beyond being a guide for immigrants. It shares universal principles and powerful stories, strategies to help us all excel in our professional journeys and in life. The purpose of these sessions are really for, as I said earlier, learning, sharing stories, sharing stories of hope, of courage, sharing stories that would also give us tools and tips and resources for us to thrive in the marketplace. And while at it, we hope you find moments of laughter and levity, and you can identify with the life experiences that we share. We also hope that you can pass the information along to those in your circles who may benefit. This means that you can share this meeting, or you can point people to our YouTube channel, which is Breaking Through Immigrant Voices. Please feel free to put any questions that you have, comments in the chat, and we'll address them. So today's session is going to be a little bit different, right? If Nana says something that is truly, truly profound and it hits the right place, you can put it in the chat. We will call today's Nanaism. Okay. Today's title is The Will to Walk Again. The Will to Walk Again. And it's part 1. This is life before the accident. When life gives you lemons, do you let their bitterness define you, or do you turn them into defining moments, into something extraordinary? As we all know, adversity is inevitable, but what we create from it is a choice. And when you fall, when the world knocks you down with unexpected hardship, you stand at a crossroads. Do you surrender to the weight of your struggles, or do you rise stronger and more determined than before? True resilience isn't just about surviving. It's about transforming setbacks into stepping stones. Setbacks into stepping stones, right? Turning pain into purpose, and proving that no obstacle at all can extinguish the fire within you. That is the case of our guest today. His journey is one of hope, resilience, courage, and strength in the face of life-changing incidents. So today's session is a little bit different. Our guest will tell his story. An immigrant from Ghana who faced an unimaginable adversity, yet he refused to let it define him. Before the tragedy reshaped his path, Nana was a man of vision, relentless determination. Even now, he's full of energy and life. He stepped into an unfamiliar world, overcame obstacles, and pursued his dream of becoming, in pursuit. He will tell more of his story. I will have him tell more of his story, so I don't want to give it all away. Even his ambition of joining the U.S. Marine, preparing a future that was within reach. Then, as they say, in a twinkling of an eye, in the blink of an eye, everything changed. A car accident on January 31st, 2000, altered the course of his life forever. But before we explore that pivotal moment, we want to take a step back to understand Nana, who he was before that, the circumstance, the things that he's been through, what his life was in, a little bit of what his life was in Ghana, was like in Ghana, what shaped him before the accident, what lessons he's carried along. And so this is the story that we'll be hearing from Nana, who has agreed to be with us today. Nana, I know that the story that you're going to tell us today is really very personal. The will to walk again. I know I've talked with you is a story of perseverance. And today we begin part 1. You will talk to us, share with us your life before the accident. So everyone, can you help me welcome Nana Bafo Ewa? Welcome. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview. This is very deep. This is very personal. Sharing your pain, sharing your triumph, sharing your story. sharing the process, your healing process, which is still in progress, is going to be a gift to all of us listening to you today. So please take a moment to introduce yourself. Tell us just a little bit about yourself and include a fun fact, and then we'll start the journey.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank you so much for bringing me on your show. And hi to the Breakthrough family. Really cool taking the time to join us and listen. So, as you mentioned, my name is Nana Bafo. Originally from Ghana, born and raised Kumasi Bantama, to be precise. Currently live in Alexandria, Virginia here, and I work. I'm a cybersecurity engineer for the federal government. I've been doing that for almost 10 years now. I support various high-level government agencies. So that's what I've been doing. The fun fact about me, I'm an avid movie watcher. Yeah, that is my sacred place. Movies. And whenever stress comes, work, life, that's my go-to place to go watch movies. Then I just so if any movies with lovers are here, well, so yes, that's a little bit in a nutshell about me. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Nana. And welcome everyone again. Thank you so much for joining us. Nana, if somebody said your volume is a little bit low, so if you can increase your volume.
It's a little bit low. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? It's good now?
I believe so. If you can hear Nana, please put a yes in the chat. Thank you. And once again, thank you everyone for joining. So Nana, you left Ghana in 2003, April 29th, yes, precisely. Tell us what motivated you to come to America, the land of the brave. What dreams and aspirations were pushing you forward to come here?
Well, so it goes way back. I'm 48 years now, but growing up in Ghana, growing up in a terrible country, Ghana, things are sometimes difficult. But I mean, I was privileged, born in a very privileged family back in Ghana. But if you come from a family where almost about 80% of the family members all live outside the country, if all move out, and they are doing well, they are doing well compared to those of us who were left behind. As you grow up, you get enticed, to come and live outside, regardless of what you do, what your pursuits are in life. So me, a little bit. Once I finished school, growing up, I finished school. I didn't pay attention in school, so I kind of fall back on my grades. And I didn't. So I didn't go straight to university. My colleagues went to university, but I branched into the workforce. So I worked at Confirmation Teaching Hospital as a medical records assistant for 5 years, from 1999 to 2003, when I moved here. But during that time, as you grow up, you're forming your path in life. I wanted to be a lawyer in life, because as I grew up, I found that I'm very, very persuasive when I'm debating issues with my friends, and so I wanted to be a lawyer, and at the same time, I wanted to be a soldier, because I was born in Bantam, like I said, but right there is the military by 4BN. So my education, my nursery, primary, JSS education were all in the military barracks. So I got fond of being in the military, but at the same time, I want to be a lawyer, but I want to be a military lawyer. But like I said, as I'm growing up, I went to school. I went to private college for my senior high school, class of 1977. So if anybody listens to me, for 1977, work out. Thank you. So that pursuit made me think, okay, you need to change something in life. Then I got the opportunity to move to the US. And that pursuit of being a lawyer was started back in my head. I want to be a lawyer. That's what I've been doing. I know most of my family who knows this, who are listening knows this. So that and having a good life. It was one of the best motivations for me to move to the US. Yeah. Having a better life myself. That was it.
Okay, great. So you wanted to come to America to have that good life. Why not?
Yes.
Right? and you had the ambition of becoming a lawyer and at the same time to a soldier. So lawyer, soldier, soldier, lawyer. For those of you listening who don't know Bantama, Bantama is Accra, and it's not in Accra, sorry. It's in Kumasi, Ghana. It's a place in Kumasi, Ghana. If there are any Bantama folks here, please put something in the chat to cheer a brother on. So you left and you came to America, land, a new place. What actually, you arrived in America April 29, 2003. How did you feel? What surprised you the most? What have been some of your joys? This is life before the accident.
Right. Yes. So, a fun fact: when I left Kotoka on April 28, I transited in Zurich. Just the airport difference. What I saw in Kotoka when I saw in Zurich. Wow. Okay, that's the difference. Then I got to Dallas Airport. There was another shock too. I'm like, wow, because it was how when I get to Zurich, how systematic things were moving along. Just the contrast was just so huge. When I got to the US to the airport, things were moving along systematically, orderly. So that was one thing. Came out of the airport, driving down the road 495. Then I compared Accra, just driving to Accra, and driving from on the 495, the Beltway, the highway, to Lawton, Virginia. One thing I noticed, no potholes. We know about an hour. I didn't know he didn't potholes. I'm like, okay, what is this? So that was one. That was the first thing. And so I got in, settled in. Then I realized how the system is structured. That was a big shock. How the system is structured is orderly. One thing that I found was everybody pays. First thing was everybody pays rent every month. It's not like Ghana advance. People pay. I didn't see it called advance 2 years, 3 years. Then your rent is no. That was the first thing. That was the first shock for me. And it wasn't like, oh, I don't have rent today, so I'm going to talk to the house owner. If it's time to pay rent, you pay rent. And I could see my brother was here. We see how quickly he wants to pay his rent. Then they don't want to. I'm like, wow. Second shocker was taxes. It's like there's tax on everything. Chewing gum, water, bottle of water. Just going to buy McDonald's, there's tax on everything. I'm like, wait, I didn't know taxes in Ghana because that time when I was coming back, VAT was coming up and it wasn't paid by everybody. So that was another shocker. But number one shocker I never forget was one time I went to Best Buy to go and buy a battery. Ghana, okay, if Ghanaians we call it battery. Okay, so I went to Best Buy and the cash lady was there, so she was ringing me out. Then it got to the battery. Can't say that. The battery part. So this is what she comes. Yeah, battery. Yeah, battery. It was like she made a face. Like, what did you say? Oh, battery. Yeah, I want this one battery. I want two. I want two battery. I was like, oh, you mean this bad? You should see my face. I'm like, oh, it's battery. Okay. Yeah, that was fun. I never forget that. I've never forgotten about that experience. I'm like, okay. Then moving on, when I go to Social Security to get my Social Security card, when I'm talking, you hear people say, "What did you say?" They keep saying that. What did you say? Because I have a tick accent. What did you say? Anytime you say something like, "Excuse me, come again? Excuse me, come again? Excuse me, come again?" That was first. It was. If you're not careful, you will start like recalling to yourself. You don't want to mix with them because it becomes embarrassing. The next anything you make, the next speech you make, you're like, what did you say? So those were some of the shockers. Yeah. So that's about that. That's about it for now.
That's about that for now. So I heard you said rent. You talked about No potholes. If you
No,
have
no.
that was great, right? And
Yeah.
you talked about the accent, right? That is something that we discuss in the book. There's a lot of culture shock, and there's some changes that you have to make if you want to do
Mm-hmm.
well here. Would you talk about one change that you had to make before we get into the educational piece?
Yes, once I was like I said, I had to overcome the feeling of if I speak, these people will not listen to, so just not have get into a conversation with these people, right? Because you are working, you're out there, you're on the floor. Because I started doing like working as a stalker for Old Navy. You need help. You need to talk to people. So I had to come out and not forget about. Okay, they'll say, "What did you say?" Forget that. What did you say? I'll just repeat what I say. So with time, my confidence, begin to grow. My confidence begin to grow. My confidence begin to as I started interacting with them, especially the Black Americans. Yeah, once I started, and they for some reason they started understanding me. Then I started picking up their accent a little bit. So then I started, growing out of myself. Then yeah. So
Very
that's that.
good. Great. So, yeah, you became a little bit more confident. Your confidence
Yes,
level was growing, and I
yes,
bet your language was slightly changing, and folks also
yes.
listening to you were getting used to your accent.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
very good. There are a few comments in the chat. Prempeh schoolmate Peter Audrey
Oh,
says Prempeh schoolmate. Somebody say, "Yo, Bantamanians, yay!"
yeah.
And I think there's another comment about something about Garrison Primary School.
Yes,
Yeah, we are
yes.
here.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
and my two brothers attended Prempeh. Shout out to a Kumasi brother. My two brothers attended. Okay, very good. Thank you. Keep the comments coming. Okay, Nana. So at the beginning, you said you left your comfortable home, shores of Ghana, to come to America. You had a dream of becoming a lawyer or a soldier, right? Tell us a little bit about this dream, your pursuit of it, what challenges you faced. Are you a lawyer? What other obstacles made made the journey difficult, and what plans have changed and what have stayed?
Yes. So yeah, that dream was totally me. When I came over, I was totally, but once you get to a new place, you need to adjust to the system, and it takes time to understand the system and adjust and find out, okay, if you want to do something, how can you support that dream that you wanted to do? So once I was getting my papers, everything in line, then, like I said, my brother was here. He was in the military, right? He's been there at that time. He's been in the military for almost 10 years or so. Then I get to find out some of my friends, my schoolmates also were here. Most of them were in there, also military, in the army, the navy, yeah, army and navy, and marine. Some also were in marine. So I started getting a chance with them. I said, hey, you guys knew I also want to be a soldier, but now that I'm here, what is the step? What's the process I gotta go? So people came up with different. First thing was all of them was like, you need to go to school first. If you want a better and a good life, comfortable life in this country, you need to get an education. That's the first step. Because if you go to say I'm not knocking down working in Walmart or Home Depot. I'm not knocking on them. They say, well, that's a good start. But if you want, do well and live a comfortable life, you've seen how your brother is living, right? So if you want that type of life, you need to go to school. And you've always wanted to be a lawyer. It's easy. It's here. It's easy to be a lawyer, like in Ghana, because the system and the resources are there, and the opportunities are so vast. So look into that. So I started researching into how to go to school. If I want to go to school, how do I get resources? So they explained to me, okay, there's some school you can basically get a free education depending on federal grants. So the government gives you grants, depending on your situation in life. You can go to school for free. Use that. And if you join the military too, the military will pay for your school, everything. So think about that. So that is where I started, researching how to go to school, and that's my path go now. I didn't become a lawyer. And that is because of there was an interaction in my life. And I think we'll get on that. Why certain things didn't materialize the way it was supposed to materialize. So that's about it for now. Yeah.
So did you become a soldier?
I was go ahead.
I'm just smiling. You said the interruption. I know that we'll talk about the interruption, but you're not a soldier and you're not a lawyer.
No, I'm not. I'm neither.
Yeah, neither. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about education, I see behind you have a very, very nice background. You have a
Oh,
lot of certificates.
yeah.
Are there certificates before the accident, after the accident? I mean, I love the display of achievements and accomplishments behind you.
Yes. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. So everything behind me, God is so good. Everything behind me is after it all happened after my election, after the accident.
Accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
yes.
in part two, you talk about your life after the
Yeah.
accident. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I see a few more comments here. It says somebody said Nanaism. I don't know what you said, but there's also another comment from Jonathan here. He said, here, Bantamanian by being friends with Nana for a war. Then Kenny says, big up. I think I can't read this. It's OIEEI.
Olele. Okay. Let me help y'all. Let me help y'all on that one. That's my nickname in prep college. That's what they gave me. You go to school, they give you something. That's what I got. Olele.
Oh, Lele, okay. Shout outs from Kenny. Prempe, a proud Bantamanian. I'm proud of your achievements. Very good. Keep the comments coming. So, Nana Bafo Iwa. You had military aspirations. Your friends, family talked to you about the need for education, and education, having an education is part of a journey of success, so to speak. And so your friends tell you you need to have an education. You do a lot of research and you were slated to join the US Marines. Can you tell us
Yes.
a little bit about that journey?
Right. Yeah. So that's moving forward to 2005. That's when now I've been here almost 2 years. So I became to understand the system, how the system works. I'm driving. I've got my driver's license. My boy, everything is in line. So then did that dream of, okay, now the military thing comes in. So I had made a plan to join the military. I went. Then I spoke to the recruiting agent people. They told me how to do it. Need to write an entry exams. They call it ASVAB to test your level or where they will place you in the military. That will determine what you do in the military. So I went in December. I think end of December 23rd, December 18th or something like that, 2005. That's when I went to write the entrance exams. I did well there. I passed. Even though I'm bad in math, for some reason, I passed the math side. Yeah. Math, me and math don't work. We don't match. Yeah. So I did well on the math test. So I was ready. So after that, the recruiter told me, okay, now we need to get your paperwork straight and find out when you ship out to boot camp. That is, where you start your training and everything. So I think a week later he called me and said, okay, we've got you slated to go to the boot camp. And I had selected the Marine Corps because my brother was Army, my friends were Navies. I'm like, okay, I'm going to join the other side. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to join the Marine Corps. So I signed up for the Marine Corps. Then he said, okay, now you're ready to go. And I think it was 17th March 2006. That is where I will join. I will go for select for my boot camp. But that was the time the Iraq war was happening. So a lot of people were joining the military. So I was ready to go and join. So in March 2006.
March, yeah, you
That's
have
it.
about March 2006.
Mhm.
You are slated to join the US Marine Corps.
Yes.
Everything is set going for your boot camp. Then January 31st, 2006 happens.
Yes.
That is where your life is turned. I don't know whether it's turned around, turned upside down. There's a life altering moment. Now
Yes.
take us to January 36th. You wake up in the morning on January 26th. Take us through your day step by step. Walk us through the events and then what happened.
Right. So January 31st comes around. I was at that time I was working as a construction pipe layer for a construction company, and then we were developing the subdivision in Woodbridge, Virginia. At that time, I was living in Woodbridge. So, and the job and my house was like 10 minutes apart. So I live close to my job site. And July 31st comes, I'm in bed. I was off that day. It was a Tuesday. I was off. I wasn't supposed to even be out. So I was around 5 a.m., but I've been always, there's this training shoes that I wear. It was dirty. So I started to bring the day I started to bring this home to wash it. So as I was laying down around 5 a.m., then I realized, oh, my boots. I need to go get it because it's just around the corner. So I woke up. It was around 5, like at the 5 a.m. I went to the site. We had this container that we keep all our tools in. So I went to the main site. The container wasn't there. So I went to the other side that we always meet to get our assignment to meet as manager. So I went there. The guys were there. I asked them, "Hey, where's the container? I'm trying to get my shoes out of it." They said, "Oh, the container's moved to Manassas." Okay. So I interacted with the guys for a bit. And I said, "Man, I gotta go back home because y'all working. I'm not working today. I just gonna go get my more shut eye. It was sleep, more sleep." So what I remember is I was driving a Jeep truck at that time. I got into the car, even right now, I can still remember. I got into the car, closed the door, and that's it. I woke up 5 days later at Fairfax Hospital. I had no idea what happened. Yeah, yeah, that was the interaction that I spoke about earlier. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah.
Wow. So you go to your office place to pick up your shoes. Did you get the shoes? I'm not sure whether I heard. Did you get the shoes?
No, no, I did not. And the funny thing is, when I went to the first site, the container was sitting there, right? But when I went to the other side, but it was locked. But I went to the other side, we talked to the guy and they said it's been moved. For some reason, I believed it. They said, oh, it's been moved to Manassas. Because I think the guy didn't want to go back to the old side to go get it for me. Then I said, oh, okay, then I'm going home. Maybe I went to it to see that it was sitting there at the first place that I went. That is something I've been always trying to understand. Why did I accepted his explanation when he told me it's been moved, even though I went to see it like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's another mystery I don't understand.
So he tells you that the container has been moved,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go into your car
Mm-hmm.
to go back home.
Go back home. Yeah.
And at that time, what time are we talking about? Is it
Yes,
it's
it was
6 a.m.,
around
7
5.
a.m.?
When I was around 5:30 in the morning. Yeah.
It's still
So we started.
5:30,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you sit in your car going back home, and then what happens?
Like I said, I don't remember. All I remember now is I closed the door. That's it. And even to add more to it, where the accident happened, I wasn't supposed to go to that direction. If I say I'm going home, I'm supposed to be going north, not south. The accident happened on the southbound of Route 1 in Woodbridge. I don't live there.
So,
Had not, yeah. Go ahead.
so you sit in your car to go home, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you realize that you were headed in the opposite direction.
That is what the police told me after the fact. But
Okay,
I don't know if I had moved. I don't remember. Even now, I don't remember.
you don't remember.
Yeah.
So after 7:30 a.m. on January 31st, you don't
Mm-hmm.
remember anything.
Nah.
When do your eyes open next, and where are you?
Yes. So it was Tuesday. So what I remember is I woke up, my eyes open, then I'm looking at the ceiling. And it looks like it's a hospital ceiling. So I look around. Yes, I'm in some sort of a hospital. I look around. My girlfriend then I was dating was standing next to me. My other friend was also on the other side. Then I tried to get up. I can't get up. So I lay back in the bed. So I asked my girlfriend, what is happening? She's like, lay back. Then my friend also came back and said, hey, lay back. Don't get up. So, but I'm confused. Where is this? They say, oh, you were in Fairfax Hospital. Do you not remember? I said, no, I don't remember anything. What happened? And they said you were in a very terrible accident, but you relax. Let's go get a doctor. So as I said that, my brother also walked in. Right, and he asked me, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." But where am I? They said you're in Fairfax Hospital. So they also at the same time the doctor comes in and say, "Okay, oh yeah, you okay? You are doing well." I'm like, "What? Why did everybody keep saying I'm doing well?" So he's like, "Oh, you don't remember anything?" I said, "No, I have no recollection of why I'm here. What happened?" Then he said, "Well, you were in a terrible accident, so relax for now." Yeah. So that's yeah.
Okay. So is it still January 31st as you are talking, or is the next day?
No. This is a Saturday. So this is like the 5 days because I start on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 5th day.
And you were not aware of what was happening.
I had no idea.
You had no idea. So your eyes open, everybody says, relax, don't move. At what point did the doctor come? At what point did you know exactly what happened? And if you don't mind sharing what happened.
So like I said, when they were saying I tried to cut up myself, but I couldn't. Then I realized they put a brace on me that prevents me from like moving. Then I can feel a sharp pain on my back, like a stabbing pain on my back. So the doctor comes in and said, "Relax, don't move." Then at that time I realized I can't move my legs. Because I tried to move, then it's just my chest is the only moving. My legs are just sitting there. So I said, "Okay, what is happening?" So I said, "Relax. This what happened. You were brought in around 7. We had a 911 call around 7:30. You were brought in by the medics, and they said they found you at the back of the trunk of your car. That's why they had to cut the car to get you out. You were in an accident, and it took a bit for them to get you out. But that's what happened. You weren't wearing your seatbelt. So in the accident, there was a collision. Your car went over a fire hydrant. You lost control of your car. You hit the side of another vehicle. So I swiped it. They said I swiped it. Then my vehicle went into a spin on the other side of the road. Then there was a fire hydrant sitting there. Then my truck went over it. Then it rolled it. So as it was rolling, hit a tree to stop. My doctor says as it was rolling, that's where your spine, your vertebrae broke and went into your spine. So you are permanently paralyzed because of that. So I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah. Unfortunately, you are permanently, but you're not going to be able to walk again." And that is because the type of injury that you sustained. The vertebrae went into your spinal cord and cut it almost in half. So that is your situation now. There's no you're not going to be able to walk again. Yeah.
I know there are some doctors in the house, so doctors, you can also chip in here. Somebody said there was a question earlier. So hold it. So the question, did he move the car? What did the police say happened?
Mm. Yes, and this version was later on. It was later on confirmed by the police. The police person who responded to the scene. It was a funny story. He came in. I think this was after the doctor had said that I've done all my crying, all my sobbing. We come back to that. So the police, he came in and he's like, "Guess what? He's gonna serve me what ticket." Because for nowhere wearing the seatbelt, and he said, forcing the lane, 3 tickets. So he comes in, and I'm talking to my girlfriend, right? Now that talking to my girlfriend is like, "Wait, is this you?" I said, "What you mean?" It's like, "Hey, man, I will give it to you. I never told you were going to survive." So about said, "You were gonna save the ticket." He said, "Yeah, but later on, I called the hospital to say you were talking, but I didn't think you were this talking." Of course, when I responded to the accident, I didn't think he was gonna make it. And my brother confirmed this. So when he called him, said, "Hey, your brother's in an accident." He said to my brother, "I don't think he's gonna make it, so you need to come to the hospital quick." Yeah, so he's seeing me like talking. He's kind of confused. But he still has to do his duty. He still has to give me these tickets, come to court and all those stuff. Yeah. So and then he also narrated the story the way the witnesses told him. Then it's like it matches what the doctor said.
So nobody hits you. You ran over the hydrant, hit a tree, swipe the car. Is that right? Am I
Yeah.
getting?
Yeah. So it's the reverse. So I swiped. They said I swiped the car. Then my car went into a spin, went over the fire hydrant, then it rolled over.
Wow. People are
Yeah.
saying you are an inspiration, like seriously, take it. So, Nana, you are waking up, you are realizing that you are paralyzed. Doctor said you will never walk again. At this moment, what is going on in your mind, in your people are crying, you are crying. What are they? I know it's really tough, so please take your time.
Yes.
Whatever
Yes. Sorry, I'm gonna put my battery charger was dying. I apologize for looking away. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So at that time, with the moment the doctor said, "Okay, you're not gonna be able to work," he explained everything. You know how doctors do, go through the steps and tell you, give you the bad news. Once he said that, for some reason, I guess it was a shock. I said, "Okay," that's what I said. Then later on, like a few seconds later, everything just started coming to me. You know what this means, right? All your dreams, your aspirations are over now. So you're gonna have to, do stuff. It's like the reason why you came to America, that good life, that better life, that you left your comfort, it means those are all over. So then it hit me. It hit me, and I was like, wow, I'm done.
I am
I'm,
done.
I'm, I'm done. I'm done. I mean, what am I going to do for my wheelchair? The plans I came to America with, wheelchair was not factored in.
Hmm.
No, wheelchair wasn't part of the calculation. No. So now what?
So now what?
Yeah.
You left January 31st at about 5:30 a.m. in a Jeep Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
Now
And I came in a wheelchair.
you came back in a wheelchair with a ticket in your hand that you will never walk again, and with
Yeah.
tickets to also pay.
Yes.
How many days were you in the hospital? What did you do in the hospital? If you can walk us through, we probably will end there. Walk us through how long you stayed in the hospital, if you did rehab, and
Right.
where you returned to in the wheelchair.
Right. Well, so yeah, so after that, so it's that time I think it was January 5th or so, something like that. Then they said, but you're gonna have to do a lot of intensive rehab, because we're gonna relearn a lot of stuff. So I stayed in the hospital till I think March, somewhere around March.
Oh,
Yeah, later on in March, that's where they released me. Even they released me to a rehab center, and I stayed there for about three more months to do a lot of rehab work. Yeah, it was a lot of intensive. It was hard and painful.
well, so you left your home in January on January 31st and didn't
Hmm.
go back. We'll talk about where you went to. Didn't leave the hospital facilities, whether rehab, for about 6 months, five to
Yeah. So
six
yeah.
months.
The judge they sent me to a nursing home. So for another 3 months, staying there. Yeah.
Were there points in your this time that you thought you were dreaming?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was dreaming. Then I was like, "Why are you still here, man? I don't want to do this anymore." It was like, I don't understand. I just don't understand what is happening. Yeah, this must be a dream. This that again, like I said, all of this were not factored in my calculations why I had to move to another place. No, it was sort of part of it.
It was not part
So
of
every
it.
day was like, okay, what's happening?
Okay. So there's a comment here. One of the doctors, Dr. Mafu, says, sounds like he had a syncopal episode. For whatever reason, they find out why you passed out.
Okay.
That is, yeah. And another said, you are a living testimony. Okay. So Nana Bafo is now paralyzed from chest down, right?
Yes.
Cannot move his feet. You've done rehab. Did the rehab help a little bit? What happened in the rehab, if you can?
Oh yeah. Oh, we have had that. Like I said, you have to relearn everything because you've done everything walking and standing. Now you have to do stuff from the wheelchair. So they need to teach you even how to dress. How to dress without being able to stand up. Just the things that the little things that we take for granted. You woke up on a dress, just one with 1 feet, 1 feet there, and boom, you have your pants on. It's easy. Do the kind of thing, you're done. But now you have to learn that it takes time to even get adjust to those things. Yeah. And to get my strength back. Because spinal, I don't know. I've read about birth pain. Spinal cord pain is, for me, is on a different level. I've not had a child before, but so it is a painful. It's so painful, pain in your spine. So I had to learn how to cope with that pain and adjust myself to the new life. So therapy helped. Rehab and therapy. Yeah, okay, I did occupational therapy. I did physical therapy. Yeah, so those helped me how to adjust and how to come back. Understanding my situation, what to do, what the best I can do with what I've been given now.
Yes. And so you leave rehab in a wheelchair. Where do you go? Do you
So,
go back to the house that you left on January 31st, 2006? Where do you head? Where
yes.
do you go
So,
back to? Yeah.
right. Yes. So, I leave rehab. I leave my Nike rehab. I can't go back to my house because guess what? I have stairs. I got to go about, I think, 8 flights of stairs to get to the house. Wheelchair cannot do that. Unless somebody's, pushing strong people are carrying over. I can't do that. So I can't go back there. Then I wouldn't say luck, by God's grace, my mother has come a year earlier, 2005. And she had rented a place because she had rented a place and it was a basement apartment. So luckily for me, I could go to her, but not my house. So she prepared a place for me in her house so I could move there. So I'm moving with my mother at that time. So that was one of my saving grace.
So you leave the rehab facility and you go to your mom's house in a wheelchair.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Start a new life.
Yeah.
This is where part 2 will probably begin. But before I ask you my last question, there are a few comments here. Somebody said you are a living testimony. Nana, if you don't mind me asking, did the police tell you whether you drove the car the wrong direction?
I am telling myself that because I don't leave where it hasn't happened. So if I'm going home, I'm not supposed to be going there. I'm supposed to be going this way. Yeah. So I don't know why I was going that direction. Yeah. And the reason why they gave me a ticket was okay. They said I crossed the lane to hit the other car. So improper lane change. That's one of the ticket. Not receipt belt and improper lane change. Yeah. But I'm telling myself that if I said I'm going home, I should not be going this way. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There's another comment that is, God is good. As a disability scholar, the little I can say is that his present condition may well be the unveiling of a new him God made from the beginning. The first step was his acceptance and adjustment to live with a new identity. I've seen him laugh, smile, and push on with life. I hope the needed legal entitlements have been worked on. And somebody said thank you. So Nana, You are now in your mother's home.
Mm-hmm.
You are now on the ground level with your mother.
Yeah.
You know, this story, I know that you can't tell a 19-year story,
Yeah.
19-year journey in about an hour. So at this point, we'll pause. And then part two, you would tell us life after this accident. Now you're in a
Right.
wheelchair. You can't even sit up, right? You,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, at that time. But there have been a lot of progress and healings that have, and things, major things, with all
Yeah.
the certificates behind you. Before we leave, what one thing or a reflection would you like to leave our audience with today as we finish part one of this interview? Maybe it's the biggest lesson from life before the accident.
Yeah. So one thing I will leave with people is everybody listening to me is sometimes we don't plan, we don't get the life that we plan for. And what you do with the ones that you are given determines how the future is going to be for you. Yeah. So when things like this happens, and they will happen, I'm not special. I'm not a special case. You're not a special case. These things happen. So when they happen, you just have to have faith, your faith, and the determination to endure what is about to come. But never question why is this happening to me. That is one lesson I learned, and I'm still learning. Why did this happen to me? Come to understand that isn't a good question to ask because it's a retrogression question. It keeps it keeps you to stay back. You can move forward with that question. I don't ask that question anymore. So that is what I think I'm going to lead to people for now, and people understand, like you said, when it comes part two, how I've moved through life and why I've come to this to leave my principle, this type of principle in one of my principles in life. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay. Nana, I know your story is very inspirational. Your story is remarkable. Kwabna says loss of memory in this scenario may have been normal, but he's done well with the recall so far. God bless Nana, aka
Mm.
Senior Olele. Well
Yeah.
done, Nana.
No,
You are
yeah, Olele.
a Senior Olele. Okay, I'm learning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done, Nana. You are an inspiration. Well, so today we've explored the next journey before his accidents, the dreams that brought him to America, the battles he's fought and he's still fighting, and defining moments that changed everything. His resilience didn't begin after his accident, it was built long before that moment. Through every challenge he has overcome some. We are still working through some. Every setback, as he said, is a lesson, not so much the thing you said about why me is like, I think you're saying don't get into a pity party, right? Maybe you
Yes.
can get into it a little bit, but move on
Mm-hmm.
and try
Yep.
to
Mm-hmm.
find the bright spots and every dream that he has refused to let slip. But this is only the beginning. So in part two, we are going to dig into the life after the accident. What happens when everything you plan for is taken away in an instant? How do you rebuild yourself when the world tells you that things will never be the same? You will never walk again. We will talk about Nana's darkest moments, his fight for independence, his determination to walk again, and how he has turned his pain into purpose. Please, if you've ever felt like giving up, Nana is saying,
Mm-hmm.
don't give up.
No.
Don't give up. Maybe we can give a teaser that Nana drives now.
Oh yeah. It's like
So
you said, a lot is happening. Driving. It's been an amazing journey.
it has been an amazing journey. He said, it has been an amazing journey. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, for joining us today. For those of you who will be watching the replay, thank you. The Will to Walk Again, part one. That is live before the accident. Part two will be next week, and it will be live after the accident to hear what Nana has dealt with mental, physical, emotional, and how he has overcome some of them, and the process is the healing process that is in. So thank you everyone so much for joining us today. Thank you.
All right, goodbye everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Hope to see you next week.